All right. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, B?
I'm good, James, and we're excited tonight. A very special guest.
Very special guest. As you can see, we have Wayne Buckingham, former Clemson basketball superstar, on the show with us. We are super excited about that. And you know what? We're going to go into some huge announcements. We're going to highlight this weekend stuff. We're going to talk about the Final Four and the big dance. We're going to give away a koozie and that kind of stuff. But we just can't wait to get into this interview with Mr. Buckingham. So we're going to just go ahead and trim this music down a little bit and go ahead and get started with that part. Here we go. Wayne Big Buck Buckingham. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. How y'all doing out there in Clemson Lane?
Awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody's doing great. So Wayne's a former forward and center for 1989 season to 1993-94. I'm very weird and technical about that kind of stuff. Part of arguably the best basketball team ever, right? We're going to talk about that.
The best.
That's right. Finished 17th in the final AP poll with a 26-9 overall record. Was it a Sweet 16 or a Great 8 year?
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. Okay. And Buck was the number one power forward coming out of Georgia, number one in the country coming out of Georgia back in 1989, McDonald's All-American. And we are just extremely excited. Also had some years in professional basketball. So welcome to the show, Buck. How about telling Tiger fans what you're up to nowadays?
Man, everything good. But I want to say something, though. You said no one powerful coming out of the state of Georgia, but I was no one powerful in the country, number 9 overall in the nation. And I'm the highest ranked player ever signed with Clemson University, ranked number 9 in the country.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right. I read it right the second time, maybe. It's in there.
No, I'm messing with you. But no, everything's going good. I'm pleased to be here on the show with y'all tonight, giving us this platform to talk about some Clemson basketball and things that we got going on in the area. I'm a big Clemson diehard fan. I'm pretty much there every other weekend I can get back. I try to get back.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll get in talking about that a little bit. That's kind of the basis of our podcast. First, let me ask you about your recruiting days. If we go back a little bit now, and I say go back now, of course, we're all pretty much the same age.
Yes.
So when you were coming out of high school in '89, I mean, those were the good old days, right?
Yeah.
Back, late '80s, early '90s anyway. But what was your recruiting experience like? And give us a little insight as to why you chose Clemson.
Well, I'm from a small town called Bell Buckle up in Tennessee. Population 500. I tell this story where I go. I wasn't a regular child. I was bullied in high school. I was always bigger than all the kids. I was in the 5th grade, 6'6" in the 5th grade. And my story is that I never got to play junior high or junior pro basketball or sports because I had to move up to high school when I was in the 7th grade. I don't know how they did it, but from 7th grade all my life, I played on the high school team. And in football, basketball, and baseball because I was so much bigger than all the little kids and everything. So I tell this story all the time, but I started getting recruited at a young age. At 7th, 8th grade, and I started, got my first letters and here in Tennessee. But God blessed me to go to a transfer to Atlanta, Georgia, to downtown Atlanta, where I went to Southside High School down there to further my career, because I think that's one of the reasons how I got to Clemson. But I went to a lot of Nike camps and 5-star camps and became one of the top players in the country playing basketball. But the recruiting part of it was crazy. I had to move like 2 or 3 times. Bobby Knight, Billy Tubbs, Mike Successor, they was just show up at my high school, and the high school I went to was Southside High School downtown Atlanta. Our center was 7'1". I actually played the three in high school. A lot of people don't realize that. I got recruited to Clemson as a 3 and everything. So our center was James Forrest. He played at Georgia. He played at Georgia Tech. So we had a nice big team. But the recruiting part of it, man, it was crazy. When I said I had every coach in the country come to our high school, everywhere we went and played at, it was coaches in the stands. Our high school, we had to transfer games to Georgia Tech, to colleges to have our high school games because so many people came out to watch us play at that time back in the day. So it was real exciting. I love it. As I got older and look back on it, it was something that, man, people just don't understand. Like a high school basketball game sold out 2 weeks ahead of time. You know, it's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that would be something. And that's, now you hear of these kids getting recruited so early, but you were really, really on people's list back in the late 80s, early 90s, if you were already getting looks and stuff and middle school and early high school. So that definitely says a lot. Well, when you got to Clemson, you played with some guys, some pretty big name guys at the time at Clemson because they were so good, but they went on to have some good careers. Dale Davis, Eldon Campbell, Sharon Wright, Chris Whitney. Do you keep in touch with those guys or
Yeah.
some of your other teammates? Who do you say you think you're closest with now?
Well, let me tell you, I'm the guy. I keep in touch with everybody.
There you go.
And I'm be honest with you, we just had a Zoom call yesterday with Horace and everybody on there. I keep in touch with Tree Rollins, Horace, Larry Nance. Not only basketball but football too. Anybody that's I'm just a strong believer. But my bestest friend is Dale Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been knowing Dale since I moved to Atlanta, so he's kind of like my peed in the pot. He's actually one of the reasons I came to Clemson. So, you know, I could have went anywhere in the country, but I wanted to play with Dale Davis. Coming out of high school, and he was actually one of the reasons I actually chose him out of that. A lot of people don't know that, but I stay in contact with Dale, Eldon, with all the guys, man. And you know, that's one thing I love about Clemson. It's a family-oriented school, and even after we done graduated, went on with our careers, we still stay together, talk all the time on Zoom, and we even stay in contact with the football team. The James Traps, the Coach Fords, Michael Dean, like guys that was back then. That's the funny part about everybody don't understand. It's just it's a family. Clemson is family. Clemson is family.
Yeah, we tell people that all the time on this program. That's why we love going back. That's why we do this, and we tell people that all the time. But you know, people that may be Gamecocks or Tar Heels, they don't quite understand it like we do.
Right. Well,
that's right.
We talk bad about the Gamecocks and all that, but I had a lot of friends went to school there. I love competing with those schools. I love waking up and having to play Duke, having to play the South Carolina Gamecocks, because my friends was on those teams.
Yep.
Right.
You know, and I try to tell kids today what's different between the game today and back then. We was friends, but when we played, we was not friends. But as soon as we walked off the court or off the field, we kicked it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because it's called bragging rights.
That's right.
We left our fight, we left our attitude on the field, on the court. But once we walked off, we know how to turn it off, and we was just as friends. Because some of them same guys went to high school with us, we played with in high school. But it's all about competing.
Right.
And that's one thing I love about the old school compared to the new school today. Today is like everybody's still friends, but they friends on the court, off the court. The game kind of watered down a little bit.
I tell kids all the time they're too nice.
Too nice.
When you get out there between the lines, it's time to go.
Yeah, the other colored jerseys, the enemy. So if Dale Davis is your best friend, is there a good Dale Davis story, a good Dale memory that you could share with the fun fans?
Oh, man, Dale. Hey, some of these stories I can't tell on the radio.
Yeah. Right, yeah, so family-friendly show here.
What I'm trying to say, like, we had fun.
This is PG.
Yeah, we had fun. Dale was the engine. He was he was high maintenance. What I mean by that, y'all seen him play. Y'all know he was a leader. You know, he was a leader. He led by example. I can tell you a story about Dale. We were playing against, I think it was NC State at home, and he went up and got a rebound, and I think it was over Tom Guglielmi's shoulder, and his shoulder came out of the socket, right? And everybody, coach out, Reno. And Reno was our manager back then. So, you know, Reno, when they came over there, he come over to the bench, he was leaning sideways and everything. And they took him back to old days. Lil John had the little gate right there. You go out and training room right there to the left. So took him in there, and, you know, we thought, you know, Dale was gone for the whole game or whatever. Next thing we know, Dale come walking out of the tunnel, with a piece of tape across his arm, just a piece of tape, and I mean it was completely out.
Wow.
This is out of the year we won the ACC championship. Now check it out. He comes out. Coach Ellis looks like, "Are you good to go?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." Puts him back in the game. He has 22 rebounds, 19 points, 5 block shots.
Wow.
With a discolorated shoulder. Played a whole year. We win the ACC championship. A lot of people don't know he played hurt the whole year. With a disc, it'll pop out, they'll pop it back in.
I had one like that.
Yeah,
that's
that
rough.
Right there just showed me how good, like I knew it was in him, but that's one of the memories I have with Dale is seeing his work ethic and his pain con. So I commend him on that. A lot of people don't understand he played the whole year with a bum shoulder. He did not have the surgery till after the season. After we won the ACC championship, after they got beat by UConn and stuff. But he played the whole year with a bum shoulder.
He maybe invented that tape. There's all the athletes now, they got that stuff that just looks like tape. They put it up across their knees and on their shoulders.
Tape.
What's it called?
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah, Dale Davis
I don't
tape.
know. I think he did. But yeah, Dale was a beast, man. We had a good team back then. We had Marion Cash, Big Eldon Campbell. I used to call it E Big Smooth. He played 40 minutes, wouldn't break a sweat, have 22 and 12.
Yeah.
He was just so talented, And you had Sean Tyson, Ricky Jones, Donnell Bruce, Kurt Haller. When I say that probably was my best, I love those guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a different team from me understanding where I went and visit other schools and visit other guys. When I walked on campus, it was just like family.
Right.
It was just like family with those guys.
All right. Well, you said that's the best team in Clemson history. So tell us what makes that team the best in Clemson history, in your opinion?
What made that, for one, what can I be honest on here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On one, we had the best coach ever been at Clemson, for one. Coach Ellis. Then two, we had on that team, we had 2 starting fives that could start in the ACC. Back then, we only had 7 teams. Mm-hmm. Our second squad was just as good as our first squad. See, a lot of people don't understand that. See, everybody, all the attention was on Eldon Campbell and Dale Davis, the Legion of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
But we was 10 deep.
That's true.
We was 10 deep. You take Sean Tyson, you take me, Sean Tyson, 4 and 5. You take Dale Davis 4 and 5. We had 2 best shooters in Kurt Howland and Derek Forrest. We had 2 players. We had 2 people play every position. So practice. I'm gonna be honest with you. Practice was harder than the games.
Oh, as it should be.
Practice was harder than the games. A lot of people don't understand that. That's one reason I say that. Then 2, we won the ACC championship. We the only team that got a ring.
That's the one.
I know that the 70 team went to the Elite 8 with Horace Grant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So on that team, you only had one NBA guy that went to the NBA. But what I'm trying to say, on our team, you had 4 or 5 NBA guys that went to the NBA.
That's right.
Our team had more NBA guys to leave than all the other teams. Now that still don't make that team the best team, but it's just people judge you on NBA talent. But we had more guys to go overseas and play pro ball, CBA and NBA off of that team. And you got to realize Lil John was sold out every home game.
Place was packed.
Every home game, Lil John was sold out. The fire marshals come, he didn't come in. See, a lot of people don't understand that 80, 90 year, basketball was crazy. It was like going to Duke.
Well, and plus, kind of goes to what a lot of people have said about this year. Back then, and that was one of many, many, many years, that the ACC was the elite by far, and in everybody's mind, basketball conference, maybe the Big East, of course.
Right.
And then to win that conference was, that's an accolade that you couldn't touch. Even if they did it again this year, it'd be different.
It was very special, and it was only 7 teams back then. So it's 16 teams now. So you got to realize we played everybody twice. You had to play Duke twice. You had to play North Carolina twice. You had to play Virginia. Don't forget about Maryland, Walt Williams, the Wizards. Every team. Then picture this: every AC team back then had 3 to 4 NBA guys on it.
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest had 3 or 4 NBA guys on it.
I mean, every year. Yeah.
So now you playing teams that might get 1.5 or don't have 1.
1.5.
So I'm gonna be honest with you now. So, but I do love what our guys did this year, though. I think they had a hell of a year. I think the players played their butts off. Was I disappointed that we got beat in the NIT? I don't feel like we should have got beat in the NIT, especially being a number 1 seed.
Right.
I can't accept that as a former player. No way you lose at home in the NIT. You can't lose at home. You ain't lost all year. You can't do that. I don't care what nobody say, but I'm proud of what they accomplished this year. And now, can we do it again next year? Can we do it the year after that? I want to see consistency year after year after year.
Right. Well, that was my next question. Actually, is kind of your thoughts on this year's team, because I think it was a special year, kind of a roller coaster year, of course. But I mean, it was a good team to finish third in ACC this year was good. But what do you think is different? Not just about the two teams. What do you think's different now? And this is a little bit off script, but hopefully it'll be okay. As far as being a player, like you're saying, these kids, it did seem like a special team, and they had a lot of talent, and we hope to do it again. But I think there's already some people talking about transfer portal, this and that. What other than maybe the obvious, and I know it's been a while, what's different about from when you played and the kids now that are in college, and maybe Clemson specifically?
Well, what's different between this Clemson team? I'm gonna keep it real with you. We didn't have a go-to person. When we had the lead, we had 2 or 3 people we can go to that's going to score the basket. We lived and died by the 3. We played small ball, and I'm just keeping being honest with you. We was leading the lead in 3-point shooting, but sometime when your 3 ball is not falling, you got to have an inside presence.
That's right.
The ball got to touch inside.
That's it.
So a lot of times we shot ourselves out of the lead. What I mean by that is 3 ball wasn't shooting. We should have went inside. We should have played inside, kick it out, played inside, kick it out. You got to come down and get a basket. You can't just come down and jack up a bunch of threes. Then that's when you know that 20-point lead or that 9-point lead turns into a 1-point game.
Right.
So now the pressure's on, and I think the difference today, everybody lives by the 3.
Yep.
Yes.
Everybody lives by the 3. And if I get a 5-point, 6-point lead on you, I'm going to milk the clock. I'm going to take it inside. You're gonna try to shoot a bunch of threes. We're gonna defend the 3-point line. You're gonna miss. So you're gonna 90%, 80-90% of the time you're gonna lose.
And
I'm gonna keep the lead.
I'm gonna tell you, I just watched the Miami comeback in the second half. They made no 3-pointers in the second half, and they came back because they defended and they scored at the rim and got to the free throw line.
Yeah,
that's.
You have to be a well balanced in any sport. There's multiple ways to score the ball. You have to be a well-balanced team, and it's just like what we're all saying is you live by 3, die by 3. I was at that NIT game, and that's exactly what happened. Shooter's mentality is you just keep shooting. Well, we kept shooting, but it just never started falling for any of the players. It was the coldest second half that I had seen out of Clemson all season long, and that's super unfortunate, but it is. You got to be a well-rounded team to really be that good. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, that 90 team's definitely the thumbs up on the best team in Clemson history. What do you think, Bailey? We'll go along with Wayne on that one.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Not going to disagree with Buck.
Nah, we appreciate him
on that one. That's cool. You say you get back, and and you're a fan. So tell us a little bit. We started this podcast about what it's like to be a fan. Give us a fan experience. I'd like to know a fan experience, maybe at a football game or something, when you were a player, and then what it's like now when you go back to see Clemson, whether it's football, basketball, whatever.
Man, can I tell y'all the truth?
Yeah, yes, nothing but the truth.
I did not know y'all went through this type of stuff. Listen, I commend the fans.
That's right.
Hey, if y'all out there, y'all hear me, listen, I love y'all. I commend y'all for what y'all go through to come and watch us play football or basketball.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
We enjoy it.
Hey, listen, I swear to God, I didn't know y'all go through this. My my experience of being a fan was when I first came back to Clemson to a football game. I think it was it Notre Dame or Florida State? I had to park. Like God knows over like where the golf course is, right? And I called Tim Brady. I called and said, "Well, how am I supposed to get to the gym? I mean, to the." He said, "I said what? Walk."
So you better come get me. And you know you got a golf cart.
Somebody got to come and get me. You know what I'm saying? I said, Lord have mercy. So that was my first experience by coming to a game where football, basketball games like they drive us to the back door, let us all walk right into the gym. So I was like, y'all do this? He like, yeah. I was like, golly. Then y'all got to stand in line. Then y'all got, like, I respect y'all. Like, I swear, fans out there, I love y'all and I respect y'all. But
we love it.
Hey,
I
had to learn, not even just at Clemson. I went to see my niece play at Tennessee. Same thing. I was like, y'all do this every game? Y'all got to do this every game?
Every game.
So I had to, because we were spoiled. Y'all got to realize, athletes are spoiled. Yeah. We get dropped off at the gate, at the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we don't understand what y'all really go through. And but as a fan, it's different sitting in the stands. Now, as long as people ain't trying to get autographs and hit on you and all that, that's the only thing I didn't like about it. You can't watch the game because everybody find out who you are. You can't. Everybody ask you a bunch of questions.
Yeah, we may experience that this year, Bailey. Do you think?
Other than that, man, I love Clinton's atmosphere. It's different being on when you on the field. We hear y'all voice. We hear the echo. Like it's like our bodies like tensing up because the loudness. But being in there, man, it's that 12 man, that 6 man, it's crazy. Like the excitement, it's very exciting. I love it, and that's my biggest experience was learning how to be a fan. I had to learn how to be a fan.
Well, we'll have to have you at the tailgate. We can see the stadium at least from where we park. We'll swing by the golf course and pick you up and bring you to our tailgating spot. How about that?
Oh, most definitely. Hey, I told him I was going to buy me one of those golf carts and leave it parked up there and bring, especially for football.
Right.
For basketball, they let us park right there by they give for football. Hey, we just normal.
That's right. It can. And it can get rough with all the construction going on. It's just every year it spreads out further and further and doing some really nice stuff. But for some parking, it kind of there's IPTAY parking across the lake now over at the church at New Springs. So
right.
Anyway, all right. Well, we're to the point now where we can talk about your fundraiser and your scholarship. So lead us into that.
Let's talk about the event is called the Clemson Alumni Weekend. We do it in the summertime. It's in August 4th, 5th, and 6th. We started this 4 years ago. A good friend of mine, Sharon Wright, y'all remember Sharon Wright, got sick and had Mercer and had cancer. I do celebrity golf tournaments to help other nonprofit organizations. So what I did was I created the Alumni Weekend there at Clemson after Sharon's first year. I called a bunch of football players, a bunch of baseball and basketball coaches. We all got together to raise money for him. It was very successful, and we had a wonderful time. I think that first year we had over 25 orange jacket Letterman. Like I'm talking about for football and basketball. It was the first time in Clemson history that all sports came together to do something. And everybody had such a good time. They were like, look, you need to keep this going. You need to keep this going. So I decided to make it an annual thing. And the first year we did Sharon Wright. The second year we did Brian Mance. He played football at Clemson. The third year we did raise money in remembrance of Annie Tribble, Miss Barbara Kennedy, and we kind of honored the legends of Clemson, the golf coach, the former football coach, and we did honor them, raise money. We donated money to Dabo Swinney's All In for cancer. We helped some other athletes and people in the communities. So all the proceeds stay right back into Clemson. And this year it's our 4th year, and we got our Clemson Scholarship Fund. It's for kids that want to come to school at Clemson, for former players. Say you had a child, you played out of state, need some money, do that. And it's set up for kids with disability, learning disability to go to Clemson. It's very dear heart to me about disability, learning disability, because as y'all know, I was one of those kids. I was diagnosed as dyslexic when I came to Clemson. So I had to go through those processes at Clemson, and Miss Annie Tribble was one of the ladies that got me tested and found out what was wrong with me and everything. And I'm very big on that. So this scholarship helps young ladies and young men that's dealing with those type of issues, and all the money goes right back into Clemson for that. And the alumni weekend is to bring everybody back, to give back into the community and to help out Clemson, and not only Clemson the school, Clemson the town.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it in the summertime. So we got about 120 guys coming back this year. We went from 25 to 50 to 60 to like 120 this year. So it's growing and getting bigger and bigger. So if you ain't never had a chance to hang out with LaVon Kirkland or Coach Ford or Coach Ellis or Eldon Campbell, Horace Grant, Dale Davis or James Trapp or Ed McDaniel or Ashley Shepard, these guys will be in town that weekend. And that Friday we do a tailgate at the Conference Inns and Suites. It's free for everybody to come out and hang out, local people business. Then that Saturday we'll have an orange and white gala at Lakeside Lodge. This year we're going to have a roast between the 81 national championship team against the 90 championship team. All the proceeds that will be raised, we have a silent auction. All the proceeds for that will go straight to the scholarship fund at Clemson. Now it costs to come to that. We have a VIP for $100 a ticket, or general admission is $50 a ticket to come out to that, and excluding food and the opportunity to hang out with all the former and some of the new guys will be there too for that. So it's growing, man. I'm so happy about it, because give these guys the opportunity to come back to Clemson and see Clemson. You come back on the game days, only so much you can do. You come back in the summertime, most of the kids are gone. So, IPTAY does a tour and take us around and show everybody the new facilities and all that stuff. So
Nice.
it goes off very well, and it's growing. And this year we're gonna have y'all there broadcasting live.
There it is.
That's it.
There's the big announcement.
Yeah.
So, Coach Ford, Coach Ellis, Coach Jackson, and Coach Dillard. I mean, just all in one place at one time. Nobody wants to miss it. So yeah, I'm excited about that. The roast between the two championship teams, that sounds like that's going to be a hoot. And you're exactly right about Clemson. It's so different if you haven't been there in a while, and it's definitely different on a game day than any other day. And when the kids aren't there, actually, one of our other friends, Bubba Britton, with the Alumni Association, recently hosted, I think it was the second or third annual spring break for the alumni deal, and that's I keep missing it, but I keep hearing that's going over really well. So we're excited to be a part of this. We're going to be helping Wayne and his fundraiser and promoting this thing, like he said, and we're going to be getting the word out there. All the links, hopefully y'all can see this website on the screen, right?
Yes.
So the website, and we're going to start putting that link out on all of our social media. If you can't come, please share it. That's what we ask you to do. And really, whether you're a Clemson fan or your family of a Clemson fan or something like that, it is really for a good cause, and it'll be a fun time for everybody, the whole weekend. Yeah. So if you can't come to one part, come to another. It's going to be awesome. We're really, I don't know if I'm twisting his arm, we'll hopefully have J-Do there as well. Some of our listeners know J-Do, but that's going to be a really, really good time. Wayne, is there anything else you need to add about that?
Well, just if they, on the website right there, just Google Clemson Alumni Reunion Weekend. It'll come up, or click on the link. And they do have sponsorships. We're looking for sponsorships for the gala, looking for sponsorship for the golf tournament. Just a quick rundown. I know it's on there. Friday will be the tailgate from 5 to 11. Saturday from 5 to 11 will be the gala at Lakeside Lodge. Then that Sunday at Bostonville Golf Course, we'll have the golf tournament. And this year's theme is Kentucky Derby theme. It's sundresses and hats. And we'll have best dress, best sundress, best hat, and everything. So it's family oriented. You can bring your whole family, your kids and stuff. We got game stuff set up for that Friday and Saturday morning. We got games set up for the children in Bowman Field and at the hotel to play. Like I said, it's just a fun weekend. All proceeds go back into Clemson to the scholarship fund. Goes back into helping one of the former Clemson Tigers or somebody that's in need in the town, in the area. If you go on here, it tells you everything. But, hey, come out, man. Enjoy yourself. You never know who's going to be there. We're going to be posting who else coming. But it's just not for football. It's football, basketball. We got women's basketball coaches and players is there. We got baseball. But it's going to be a lot of great people that you used to watch play the game at Clemson. And it's a chance you get autographs, take pictures, and hang out, eat, and enjoy yourself, and play some golf, and help raise some money for a great cause at Clemson.
Awesome.
Well,
we are definitely looking forward to it, and we appreciate you being on the show. Like I said, we will continue to stay in touch with you. We may have you on again. We'll have some of those other folks on that'll continue to promote this from now until August, and we will definitely be sharing it on our social media, talking it up all around the upstate and all over the state of South Carolina. Anybody listening, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I can put you in touch with Wayne, or just reach out directly to him, I'm sure. And we're gonna get this thing. It's gonna be big. Dory Kid's gonna have to be there. All right, she's been on the show before, so Dory, if you're listening, you might as well just buy you a couple tickets, come to the gala.
It's already open. It's already you can purchase them right now. They're going fast, so jump on there and buy you some tickets for the weekend.
Awesome.
Just look for y'all, man. We appreciate y'all, really do. We want to support Fan Paul, and they're gonna be our podcast show, and we really look forward to the relationship with y'all and growing this thing.
Same here, and we appreciate you being on tonight. And go Tigers.
That's right.
Go Tigers. See you for life, baby. See you for life.
That's right. We'll talk to you soon. Did I kick him out?
Yeah, hopefully. I think you did.
Sorry. I have to apologize later.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to kick Wayne Buckingham out of the studio. But that was awesome. How awesome was that, Bailey?
Well, it's pretty cool because I remember being a junior, senior in high school, watching those guys play, and all those names he mentioned. Man, I was locked in. I knew the ACC inside and out, and he was certainly part of it. So that was cool. Can't wait till August.
That's going to be awesome. All right. Well, we need to get back to mentioning that we are the Fun Fans, proud part of the Fanboy Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other sports media at thefanboys.com and all over social media. The Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans. You can scroll to the bottom of thefanboys.com and help us help troops. We love helping troops. What else do we love, Bailey?
We love Rubens. Food, sports, spirits, and catering. The best wings around with 2 locations in the upstate. In Greer at 1083 Batesville Road. And that's the one you go to all the time, right?
Pretty much.
And 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. You can find them, and it's on your screen at rubensc.com. Rubens is simply a great place to eat for all sports fans. Thank you, Rubens.
Thank you, Rubens. All right, so back to some other news. Bailey?
In other news. Now, listen. The Clemson City Council is deciding whether or not to change their ordinance on public disorderly conduct.
Can't believe I don't have a picture for this.
All right, well, this week it was reported that they are thinking of adding public urination and defecation to their list of things you cannot do.
This is a good picture.
Okay, so I'm really thinking that I didn't understand that was not already on there.
I mean, it's a free country.
No.
Maybe. No.
So it does, like I dug a little bit deeper, and it doesn't say it specifically. All right, but Clemson fans out there, Clemson people, do not go potty in public. If you do, the Clemson City Council is going to hammer down on you. We thought it was already a law or a statute. They said they had porta-johns. Maybe we need nicer porta-johns to encourage people. And they do have surveillance cameras.
Oh, my.
There were 10 sightings of public urination on surveillance cameras just last weekend alone.
I'm
All
sure
right,
those
so
were visiting fans. Those had to be visiting fans.
they weren't fans. It was normal weekend traffic for
Oh,
Clemson.
students. Well, that could bring up that. There's the reason for the Porta John.
Right.
We kind of stopped our Porta John segment. Maybe if we brought back the Porta John segment, we built up the importance of the Porta John.
They have them downtown Clemson.
They need nicer ones like you.
The
They
one
need to
lady said they're just not choosing not to use them. Now, people just use the Porta Johns or find a restroom in a restaurant or a bar or somewhere if you've got to go that bad. So please do not do it in the beautiful city of Clemson.
Okay.
Next new news.
Next news. Let's talk about how the baseball team.
Nope, we're going to talk about my new niece first.
Oh yeah. News. You ready?
Yep. So this week, my brother and his wife were blessed with a little girl, and she loves her Uncle Bailey already. And there's my son in the picture also. So we're super happy for them. And she already has Clemson gear. So now we can talk about baseball.
There we go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. So the baseball team defeated Winthrop and Kennesaw State during the week, but dropped the series 1-2 this weekend against Georgia Tech. Seems they're still struggling with some pitching, but I think they're showing signs of, growing team and getting things together. And at least we have
15, 10, 2-4 overall. They need some pitching. I mean, not to bash the pitchers we have, but they seem to be scoring some runs. I'm going to be honest, I haven't kept up with it as closely as I should have. But that seems to be the issue. But the softball team.
We've got the softball team. Unbelievable. Those ladies, basically, here's the update. They've won every game since last week's podcast. That's a pretty good update, right?
Right. And they're still ranked 4th and 5th in the country, whichever poll you look at.
Yeah. 32-1 overall, 9-0 in the ACC.
That's right.
They're unbelievable. So, all right. And speaking of ladies, we did play, and we talked about the NIT a little bit. Our ladies had an NIT victory early in the week. My youngest and I, that was not really a reaction to the news at Clemson about not defecating and urinating in the public. I was just taking a picture. That's us at the SO. See, that's how fun fans do it. You told us that we shouldn't be tailgating, but even though we should, not that we shouldn't be, but that wasn't the thing.
I didn't say you shouldn't. I just said nobody else is going to be doing it.
Just right. Okay, so we went to the SO. The best thing was we were on spring break. We beat the traffic. Okay, it's documented traffic anxiety. We avoided all that. We left here about 3:00. We were in Clemson by 4. With the SO by 4:15. So you can see the appetizer there. Those chili cheese fries, they were pretty good. So that was a good time. And that was the one they won by a point. And I'm going to tell you right now, and if anybody's been watching women's basketball, when in the postseason, when these teams are evenly matched up, I think what gives women a bad look, I guess you could say, as far as what the fans is, they're about half the women's team are way, way better than the other half of the women's teams. And, that's not the best thing that the fans want to see, but these postseason games, the tournament games, that we've hosted some tournament games up here in Greenville. So kind of caught a little bit of that and heard people talking about it. The NIT game that we saw, that's as good entertainment as the boys. In a way, I've seen people post, and I kind of believe it. There's a lot of ways it's kind of better, basketball in a lot of ways. It's different. But those girls they're getting after it, and it is really, really fun to watch, just as fun as watching the boys, especially when the ladies are evenly matched up, and that was definitely a close game that they had against Auburn.
I'm going to tell you who's really good, the Lady Gamecocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. They're unbelievable.
Really
and when they
good.
play another team that's really good, it's a really, really good game. It's really fun to watch. But now, unfortunately, our Lady Tigers dropped their Super 16 NIT game against Florida. Thought maybe thought they had some suspensions.
Butler's former school.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Anyway, but you know who never loses?
J-Do,
MC, entertainer, entrepreneur. He better be at this gala. You want somebody to liven up your party, corporate events, just put that man on the mic and let him do his thing. Not only J-Du's a friend of mine, I've seen him work, and you will not be disappointed anytime you put J-Du on the mic at your function. You can find him at itsjdu.com and on all forms of social media at itsjdu. So speaking of, Bailey, I mean, we both now have galas on our calendar. Isn't it weird how things happen? 6 months ago, 8 months ago, whenever, how many months ago we first started reading J-Du's spot, and he talked about getting hired to do galas. We literally were like, we're researching to figure out what a gala was. And now I've been to a gala, and I have 2 more on my schedule, and we are going to be, I guess, one of the hosts or whatever it is we're going to be doing at Buck's fundraising gala. That's going to be pretty cool. Isn't it just weird how the world works?
I mean, for Wayne Buckingham to reach out to us and want us to be involved, it is a step in the right direction. We keep moving forward, and there's going to be some really cool people there. Some people that when I was a kid, I would have, please sign my autograph, and I may still do the same thing. But I'm excited that we will be part of it, and we are already on the website for Wayne Buckingham's fundraiser weekend, and it's a really cool thing that he does.
It is really cool.
Let's talk a little NCAA basketball tournament.
Let's do it.
The Final Four is set, James. And
really?
We talked about conferences, which conferences were better.
Have we talked conferences? Has there been conference talk?
We have Florida Atlantic University.
Is that an SEC team?
It's Conference USA.
No,
we have UConn from the Big East. We have San Diego State from the Mountain West, and we have Miami from the Atlantic Coast Conference. That is a 9 seed, a 4 seed, a 5 seed, and a 5 seed. Okay,
wait a minute. Well, did I miss something? You just listed the Final Four.
Yes.
And the ACC is represented, right?
Correct.
That I must have missed a team from the SEC or the Big Ten.
No, they're not in there.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe it. Wait a minute. I thought we were the down conference and they were the big timers.
Well, let's don't get into that.
Okay. Yeah, we're not really conferences.
Here's the thing. This is the
force us.
There are 3 first-time participants in the Final Four. It's the first time that's happened since 1970. All right. And honestly, I don't know if anybody wants to play UConn. They have won their tournament games by an average of 22.5 points a game. Okay. And they're coached by a Hurley, whose brother is the infamous Bobby Hurley of Duke fame, and Christian Laettner, his buddy. But Billy Hurley is the coach at UConn, and they're playing really high-level basketball. Now, I would like to say that Jim Larinaga, the coach at Miami, first ever trip for Miami to the Final Four, and because they're in the Atlantic Coast Conference, I'm pulling for them. But he also took George Mason to the Final Four in 2004, and he was twice in the Final Four as a Virginia assistant when he coached a guy named Ralph Sampson back in the early 80s. So he has some experience. He's 73 years old. He'll be the oldest to ever win a national championship if they were able to pull it off. Well, so there you have it.
I love the Cinderella stories, and I'm the underdog guy. And we really aren't conference people. We were kind of forced to defend our conference. I really do hate that, but we do it sometimes. So I'm pulling for FAU. The FAU's the Cinderella story, right?
Well, they're 35-3,
but they're 9 seed. They upset everybody that they beat. Maybe.
Well,
I'm pulling for them.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, and they said it again on the broadcast today. These tournament, the seedings you can throw out the window if they're going to leave everything like it is with the transfer portal. Because if you have a young team, you can get old quick. Pack, the shooter for Miami, he played for Kansas State last year.
Well, okay, all that's true, but you can't throw I don't know about throwing the seeds out the window, because those seeds mean what they mean. Somebody,
right.
The powers that be thought that this team should be a 1 and this
It
team should
means
be
they
a
get to
2.
wear their white uniforms.
Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. So if they're with a 9 seed, the powers that be thought they were. I used to be a math teacher,
Well,
whatever 9's times 4 is.
they just did the analytics, strength of schedule, conference, that kind of thing, and but they're really good, really
The
good.
gap is
basketball team.
closed. The gap is, or they
and
almost
getting
non-existent.
smaller.
Yeah, but yeah, throw them out the window. Then why don't we just let everybody play? That's I tell you another discussion. Maybe once the big dance is over, we can have on the podcast is should the tournament be double elimination? How cool?
No.
We'll talk about it later.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
speaking of March Madness and the pool, who's winning our pool? Wait a minute. Give the scenario where Bailey's mom is going to win.
Okay, mother. So we have a matchup of Saturday, 6:09, Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. That doesn't matter. The next game, UConn and Miami. So the guy that's in the lead,
Joseph,
and my mother, who's in second. My mother has Miami and he has UConn. The winner of that game should win the championship right here on
the inaugural Fun Fans bracket March Madness. The name's too long, but our first pool.
Yeah, so mom,
koozie.
Go get them, Mom. Go Miami.
The winner will get both a koozie and a tumbler. From where?
Diamond Etch Products.
Our friends at Diamond Etch Products. These guys have mastered a diamond laser engraving process. They can put almost any design on items such as license plates, yard signs, tumblers, water bottles, and more. For a high quality, forever lasting custom engraved product, check out Diamond Etch Products at diamondetchproducts.com. For inquiries, email Jalen at diamondetchedproducts.com. So speaking of that, it's time for the giveaway. We are giving away a diamond etched Fun Fan tumbler. If you did not win, you can find it on our merch store. The links are posted all over our social media. But this week's winner from our Facebook followers, you just got to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I guess I might need to add Instagram on there, start rotating around or something. Yeah. I don't know. But this week was drawn from our Facebook followers. And this week's winner is Paige Belcher from Bowling Springs, South Carolina. So congratulations, Paige. I'll be reaching out to you for your shipping information.
Home of the Bulldogs.
Which it is Bowling Springs. So maybe I can just swing by and drop it off and save $6. Yeah, but congratulations. And we do appreciate your support of the Fun Fans podcast. So make sure we do that. Now we can't end when some big time things have been happening. Okay. It's like Bailey pointed out. We had Wayne Buckingham on here. Hopefully he's not mad. I cut him off, Wayne. I'm sorry. It's like Batman. It's like Bruce Wayne.
Wasn't me.
I
don't have the controls, Wayne. I'm sorry.
Don't make Wayne mad. Sorry. So and some other big names are coming on here. We're going to help with we're going to be at the gala. But there's a big sign that some big things are happening with the podcast. And that is, we finally got our first Clemson sucks comment from a Carolina fan on our social media. Yes.
We have arrived.
Yes.
But we will not respond to that because that's not what this is all about.
Right. We don't say Gamecocks suck. Do we?
Never.
Hey, we just gave the Lady Gamecocks some big time props.
I give credit where credit is due.
Period. That's right. But hey, if we're getting those kind of comments, that must mean we're doing something right. Hopefully we're entertaining college fans from all over the place, from all schools. That is our goal here. And we do appreciate you guys joining us. Talk with Wayne. We talk basketball. We talk baseball. We talk brackets. It was a huge show tonight. Thanks again for checking us out. Don't forget to click subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Sometimes I tend to forget now that we're doing video. We're still out there on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Apple. But definitely follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fun Fans Podcast. We're going to continue bring some great stories some awesome guests. And I've been talking about getting the IPTAY president on here. I hadn't forgotten about that, but I'm telling you, there's a guest that's lined up. There's going to be an interview that's even bigger than the IPTAY president. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it at that. Coming up about mid-April, big. We got some radio personalities coming. Dean the Hack Cox is scheduled to be with us. Anybody that's a Clemson fan knows who he is, so you do not want to miss the show. Bailey, you got anything else for us this evening?
No, great show. Glad Wayne was on here, and we look forward to supporting what he's doing. And hey, rubbing some elbows with the Tigers, baby.
That's right. That's right. So on behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, Jay Thriller Entertainment, the Fanboys, Fangirls Podcast Network, and Bailey Jackson,
I'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening, and go Tigers.